everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and today I wanted to do a good old-fashioned lip swatching video featuring Merit and their holiday collection. So this is their limited edition dress code lipstick set, and I did pick this up recently during the Sephora sale, so I wanted to get this video put together with some swatches on here in case you also might be considering picking this little baby up. Now, it does retail for $58, which I personally think is a really great price, as long as you think you'll get good use out of all three colors that are in here. Now, it does include 3 full-size lipsticks, which typically retail for $26 each. So again, I feel like the price is really great for what you get in here. Now, as far as what you have, as I said, these are all full-size, and you get a great variety to try out a lot of the Merit formulas. Now, I have spoken in the past, I am a fan. I have both their original lightweight satin lip, which is this sort of lighter brown packaging here. The darker one in the center is their matte formula. And then this real light one here at the end is actually a brand new formula. This is their lightweight lip blush formula. So I'm very excited to try these on with you. Now, they all 3 are limited edition shades. So even though these are formulas that currently exist in their line, they're not shades that you can buy individually. So you really would need to pick them up in the set. Now, I don't know if they plan on releasing any of these at a later date. I have a sneaking suspicion that at least this one here on the end, their lightweight lip blush, they might be sort of testing out the waters for a new formula. So I'm very curious to see if they will release a range of this formula in the future. So let's talk about what you get in here, because the packaging itself, I feel like Merit did a really nice job with the packaging for their sets this year. So it has this sort of plasticky outer cartridge, but then when you pull the little tab, you've got them just nestled nicely in this box. And again, I enjoy the aesthetic of the Merit products, and I think this is just a really, really beautiful set. So let's go ahead and start with, I think I want to go light, yes, light to dark, partially because I'm just so curious about this new formula. So this is going to be in the shade Du Jour, and this is what the packaging itself looks like. It has that square acrylic outer component, and then the actual bullet itself is that same beautiful gold tube. And then this is what the shade looks like within the bullet. It is definitely visually a little bit deeper than I was expecting. The swatches for this give it a very, very light look. So I am very interested to see what this looks like on the lips. Oh, it's very sheer. Okay. It's really comfortable to apply, but as you can see, I was really going in and there's not a lot of pigment on the lips. So I think it's a really nice buildable sort of formula. And I do enjoy the color a good bit more than I was concerned about. If you saw my video about what I was considering picking up during the Sephora sale, I mentioned that I was a little bit shy about this particular shade, but no, I think it actually is quite lovely. If you want just a swatch of it on its own, this is what it looks like. Now, I did build it up a fair bit, both on my lips and on the swatch on my hand. It does have that sort of silicone-y sort of feel to it, but it doesn't feel like it's floating on top of my lips. More often than not, when I dislike a silicone lip product, it's because it feels like it's sitting on top of my lips. And for me, that's just not a comfortable feeling. This, however, doesn't do that. It actually feels really, really nice on my lips. And it feels like it's got some gumption, like it's not going to immediately slip away. That's another issue that I've had with silicone-y sort of feeling lip products in the past. This feels like it's got a nice unctuousness to it that I really do appreciate. And the color is really nice. It's something that I can see myself reaching for daily on a day-to-day sort of basis. And because it is just kind of my lips but better, I can see it going with a lot of different things. Maybe not this eye look. This eye look is quite warm, but I do think it is very pretty and I'm very excited about getting some use out of it. Moving on to the next darkest shade in this set, we have the shade Bespoke. Now, as you can see from the packaging, it is that same acrylic outer portion with the golden bullet on the inside. Now, this shade here is in their original satin formula, which I'll be honest is one of my very favorites. It's a very comfortable sort of formula. In fact, it almost has a slight balmy sort of feel to it. I really enjoy this. In fact, I have already worn this shade because I couldn't resist myself. If I have not mentioned it, this is the shade Bespoke. And it is so stunning. It is so stunning. This kind of color, I feel like will translate really well on a lot of different people. It has a nice depth to it, but I also feel like it runs neutral enough that it's not going to be unapproachable for those of you with a warmer complexion, but it's also not going to turn super orange on those of you that have a more cool complexion. Now, just for reference, I do tend to pull neutral to slightly cooler leaning, and I am so in love with this shade. Again, this texture of lipstick is so comfortable and so nice, and I can say from experience with this shade in particular that it did last half the day. I only put it on in the afternoon in preparation for going out, having dinner with my family, things like that. It lasted so beautifully. And this formula, because it does have a slight balmy texture to it, it's not creamy necessarily. It really does feel nourishing and balmy. It will fade throughout your wear really elegantly and without it becoming patchy or strange. I have never found it to gather in my lip lines, which is something that I do struggle with in other formulas. And it's lovely. So for reference, this is the shade Bespoke. And I really enjoy this so much. This is so fall and winter appropriate. And I very much hope that this makes it into their permanent line because, again, I feel like this is the kind of shade that almost anybody could get away with. And finally, we have the last shade. Again, this is the matte formula. So you have the deep acrylic outer component giving way to the golden bullet on the inside. And then this is the shade Black Tie. I really enjoy this formula as well. I know I've said that quite a bit, but this is such a lovely, thoughtful brand. And I feel like with the Signature Matte, it does have that silicone-y sort of feel to it, but not aggressively so. I really enjoy that it has a feeling of being matte without being overly drying. So I have high hopes for this shade here. That is really lovely. It is a little bit more of a berry red. No? It feels very berry, but then also when I look at it in the viewfinder, I can see a little bit more of a brick red sort of feel to it. So, but on my hand, it does feel a lot more berry. So this is the shade here called Black Tie. But because it has that sort of ambiguousness to it, I feel like, again, this is a shade that is going to flatter so many people. I have trouble sometimes with deeper shades. Like, this is about as vampy as I can go before it begins to just really wash out my complexion in a really unflattering sort of way. But I feel like this looks and feels very nice. And again, I have other shades in this formula, so I can't speak from experience in this shade in particular. But in the formula itself, I've always found them to wear very comfortably. And again, when they do start to fade throughout the day, because again, it's just a lipstick, it does so in a really nice and elegant way, and it doesn't kind of build up on itself and become craggly. So it's easy to apply a little bit more without having to take it all off and start over again. Yeah, I'm very happy with how this came out. And I really and truly feel like this is a run, don't walk sort of scenario. In fact, I have a feeling during the Sephora sale, it's going to sell out quite quickly. I picked mine up in store. I did go in to store my very first day of being eligible for the sale, which is where I picked up a lot of things. But I feel like this is one, because it is so well priced and it does have things that you can't purchase individually. I do feel like this is one that's going to sell out quickly. And I don't think that you would be disappointed in picking this up if you are someone like me who enjoys the Merit lipstick formulas, or if you're someone who has maybe swatched a few of them and just hasn't made that decision yet. This is a wonderful introduction to the brand, and I think that you would be very happy with picking this up. So I hope this has been a helpful video. I hope that you have hopefully gotten answers to questions that you may have had and will help you make a very smart buying decision. If you've enjoyed this video, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I hope that you'll consider doing so. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that you're having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.